Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky. I am a living Christ. And this living Christ says, it's time for you to wake up. Wake up from what? From your satanic trance, your mind-controlled hypnotic trance that you have been living in ever since you were introduced to education. You were sent to school as a child, but you were primed prior to that time by your parents, who they themselves were conditioned in their lives, and they passed it on to you. And that went from generation to generation back as far as the first civilization. Now, what is civilization? It's conditioning. It's mind control. It's forming thought patterns in you that limit you, that allow you to believe in fantasy, in concepts, ideas that are not true. They're merely figments of your imagination, your intellectual imagination. For you have long ago abandoned your subconscious mind, the mind which is non-dualistic, which means it is only what is, one. There is nothing else but that which is, and you are it. You're God. Oh, that offends a great deal of you. Why? Because you heard the word God, and that threw you into a frenzy, because it contradicts everything that you have been taught in your conditioned intellect, your divisive, dualistic intellect. That's the part of the mind that you all live in, and you call it normal. You call it life. It's all a figment of your imagination. You know nothing of your consciousness because you have been stymied from it. You have been stopped from it by your beliefs. Beliefs in ideas. Ideas are illusions. They're not real. What is real is that which is. Eternally what is. It has no beginning. It has no end. It is what is. That's what life is. That's what truth is. That's what love is. All one. That's what God is. And you, in your subconscious mind, you are the creator of your life, your experiences, the what is. However, you have left that. You have been made to doubt yourself when you were sent to school as children. You were formed into robotic automatons to serve illusion, Satan, the petty god, of intellect. That's your God. That offends you, and rightfully so, because you have given up your soul. You've sold your soul. You contract your soul away with your satanic intellect of division, of contradiction, that creates nothing but confusion and conflict in your life. That's all you know now. You are focused upon that kind of divisive energy, and you call it normal. Look at that normal life, the war, the argument, the debate. Nowhere have you seen that better than the presidential debate held 2 days ago between President Donald J. Trump and his challenger, Joseph Biden. Excuse me. Two men battling against each other in the illusory stance. And they talked over each other. They argued with each other. They ignored the moderator, who seemed to be completely impotent to deal with the situation. It was a free-for-all. Now, these are the two men who are looking for your vote, for your consent, to put them into office so that they may lead you in your life. Were they confused? Were they confounded? Were they violent? You bet. Now, what kind of world can you expect from that kind of behavior, that kind of conflicted behavior? That's a question that every one of you should be asking yourself, because that's all you have to look forward to. The opportunity to have a leader do your thinking for you. Look at the quality of the energy of those two leaders. Are they who you want to rule your life? Now, you say it's impossible. You have to make a choice. You have to vote, decide whether you vote Republican or Democrat. Well, there are other agencies, other parties, but they're not even counted upon in the election process. All you have to make a choice from is dualism. Republicans or the Democrats, the two main parties, and the two men who head those parties. And you give your life up. You render yourself impotent slaves in support of such a divided, such a divisive, argumentative, combative arrangement. You do your damnedest to screw your life up. Now, what's the alternative? If you have been following this simple man of truth, this Christ, for that's what a Christ is. He's not some superhuman. He's not some God concocted as an idea, a false God, an idol. But that's what you've done with Jesus Christ. You bought the myth. You bought the legend. You know nothing about the man, Jesus Christ. For he was not unlike me. Now, who am I? I'm a nobody. Look at the background. I don't have any fancy studios to influence you, to persuade you, to rant and rave about some ideas that I'm promoting. I'm simply sitting here before my computer and speaking truth. Speaking the non-dualistic, inarguable truth. And you can't handle it. You can't handle the truth. That's quite obvious. For I've been doing this for 25 years. And for 25 years you have done your damnedest to ignore the words of this simple man. All my needs are met, and I share with you a life of peace, a life of non-conflict. However, I have been surrounded by conflict all of my 83 years of life on this planet. And I have faced it alone. I'm not a joiner. I don't participate in group think. And I'm not trying to start a movement of group think. I'm not trying to institute a new Christianity. The old Christianity is really Satanism. And millions of you have been snookered into believing that deception, that lie, that legend, that myth, written by people who are not Jesus because they killed him. The movement of Christianity are the same religious leaders of his time that ruled along with the political rulers of his time that conspired together to get rid of a simple man of truth who threatened the entire satanic operation. And they succeeded. They crucified him. Then they made a religion out of him. They made a god out of him. And they promoted that illusory god, that idol, to you, to all of the people who have followed since the past 2,000 years, since Jesus and his crucifixion. That's who you are. And I'm sure I have throttled your belief system. You can't dispel what I've said because your argument is based on your sole belief. You don't know a damn thing about the man, Jesus. And his name was not even Jesus at the time. That should tell you something right there about who you worship. If his name was not Jesus at the time he spent on this earth, you're worshiping a story. You're worshiping a fairy tale. You're worshiping an illusion. And that simply is hell. Look about you. Look around you. Look at all the people that you know. And they fall into that category, don't they? It's all groupthink if you're in the Western world. Oh, in the Eastern world, you have many other religions, but they too are basically based in groupthink, belief, faith, and they encourage faith. Why? Because life is unknown. Truly, life, in the non-dualistic sense, is an ever unfolding, undefined energy of God, of you, because you are the creator. And you exit your responsibility as a non-dualistic God, creator of your life, and you accept the mantle of being a believer, a child, not fully formed yet. So you trust authority. You trust your parents. You trust your schools. You trust your government. You trust your banks. You trust your corporations. And you're lost. You give up all your power as a God, as the creator. And you've given it with your consent because you have been hoodwinked into contracting, legally contracting your rights away. Look at the world. You created this world. Look at the wars. Look at the fact that your leaders make decisions for you that puts you into conflict with other groupthink persons. They create the person, which is a dead entity. You understand? You're already dead. You were done so through your birth certification when you were declared to be a person, a non-entity, a non-human. And you allowed it. You consented to it. Now, everything I have said to you in this video is true. You can't argue it. Oh, you will argue, but you'll do so in vain. Because you operate with images, illusions. I operate in truth. And truth can stand against all of the violence trained against it by illusion, by Satan. I have proven this. I have stood up to the government. I have stood up to the judicial courts. They tried to put me away for 40 years and convicted their person who bore my name in capital letters. But that wasn't me. That's merely a piece of paper, a birth certificate. They can put that piece of paper in a prison cell on a cot, and it can rot. Because all illusion that you all give such credence to such a piece of paper, that along with diplomas, which are pieces of paper to tell you that you're intelligent. How intelligent is that? The most loving people, the most, well, I can't say balanced because they're poor. You understand? They have not found their balance yet. They have not found their stance as creators and elevated themselves from their state of poverty. But you will find love in the poor. You will not find much love in the rich. They're conniving. They are so unbalanced in their intellectual mind, in their search for power, that they've lost their balance. And they need to tyrannize the poor, to milk the poor of their energy, of causing them to work from morning till night to eke out a living, while they set the prices. They declare financial collapses. They declare coronaviruses. It's all words, you see. All that you know of what is told you by your authoritative sources, your government and your media, is that there's a deadly pandemic going on in the world, not merely here in the United States, but throughout the world. But what is it they're really doing? They're filling your intellects with words and scaring the hell out of you with words because you worship words. You don't allow for the energy, the, the cognizing of the energy behind the word, which is either holistic, holy, complete, truth, or it's split, divided, inoperative, vying for control, vying for power. And that accounts for the wars. That accounts for the conflict that goes throughout the civilized world. You're all living in hell. You've all consented to living in hell. You can't argue that. You will just try to find a better position in hell so that you don't hurt so much. But you can't escape the harm, the hurt that you're creating within yourself and without. For you're confused. The confusion speaks for itself. Why? How? You're being asked to vote. You're being asked to lend your energy to support an illusion between two illusions, vying for one illusion, the illusion of President of the United States of America. You are the creator of the United States of America. Understand? You are the creator of your life. Yet you are made to believe that you are a slave. And most of you abide by that. You accept it. And you call yourself intelligent. You can answer that question for yourself. I will not insult you. However, you will see that everything I say to you is insulting. This video is proof of that. You can't deny, you can't object to anything that I've said in this video. But you will, because that's how you're conditioned to live your life, in confusion, in conflict, in pain, in suffering, because you're living in hell. And I, this living Christ, this simple man of truth, share your hell with you, but I'm not affected by it one iota. You want proof of that? Research the internet under my name, Raymond Garchevsky, over the past 25 years. Pay attention to everything that you read. Pay attention to how the government refuses to authorize an investigation, an FBI investigation, into the multiple decade-long crime spree committed against this living Christ by Josephine County, Oregon authorities, by the state of Oregon authorities, and by the federal authorities. Yes, I've faced them all. And what do you find? You find this living man sitting before his computer speaking to you, free. He's not in jail. Those who are in jail put themselves there by their consent, because their conditioning did not allow them to see the truth of what was happening to them. Well, I'm waking you up. That's what this video is all about. It's a wake-up call. Time for the second coming of Christ consciousness to take over the world. And let it begin here in these United States of America, who are now the leader in the world, but they're a bully leader. The world is fearful of these United States, this corporation. But that corporation is also an illusion. And you created it. And you can just as well uncreate it by boycotting it. Boycott. Don't vote. Don't give your consent. Don't support with your money stripped away from you before you get it by your employer. Then they declare martial law. They declare a lockdown. They destroy businesses. They strip you away from your means of earning a living, leaving you helpless, hopeless, losing your homes, losing your property, because you have no way of making money now. It's all done with words. And you're dumb enough to buy it. I'll leave it at that. I've said enough. Join me on Patreon.com, because this public platform is satanic. I tire of dealing with stupid people who don't know who they truly are and can be relieved of their stupidity in the blink of an eye. Boycott. You are the creator. Start acting like it.